The sea is so wide and my boat is so small. How's that for a feeling? The sea is so wide and my boat is so small is the title of a book by renowned child advocate Marion Wright Edelman. As Hurricane Ian was approaching, I bet it named what many of our brothers and sisters along the East Coast felt. The sea is so wide and my boat is so small. It seems that the disciples also felt that on more than one occasion. They do today. Jesus had begun to indicate to them that the seas were going to get rough. And they could sense this antagonism starting to grow among the religious leaders of the day. So they say, "Lord, increase our faith." They felt like they didn't have enough inside of what it would take to deal with the upcoming storms. They wondered if they had what they needed in here. How many of us feel like that sometimes, right? We all face times of choppy seas. We all face other times when the approaching storms seem so huge that they seem to be so much more than our small little boat could handle. Now, some of us were told growing up, either through silence or in ugly and angry outbursts, that we don't have what it takes in here. And there are some who are almost always haunted by such doubt. But probably most of us sometimes wonder, do I have what will be needed inside? Do I have what it takes? The answer is, you do. You do have what it takes. It's in you. Now, not all storm damage is ours to try to fix. We can always and only do so much. But sometimes it is ours to weather that storm and to help those with us to hang on. Sometimes it is ours to help dig out after. And as daunting as it might feel, especially after or when facing what seems to be huge storms, this is true. We each have in here what we need. I mean, we sometimes think, if only I had more faith, or faith like hers, or faith like his, if only I had more confidence, or our courage, our education, our charm, or whatever. But Jesus says to us, you already have enough of what you need. What you need is in you already. And you know why Jesus can say that with confidence? You know why I can say that with confidence? Because you are more than you. Because you face life's storms with more inside you than you think. As I've said before, there is this part of us where we are both ourselves and more than ourselves. To put it a different way, there is more to you than you even know. And you and I don't need to wait until we have more training, more degrees, more time, more retreats, more anything to love. Whatever the situation we're in, God will use us for what is needed if we're willing to try. We have inside what is needed. I'm not TV literate. I use whatever time I could spend watching TV to work instead. So sometimes I know I'm not up to date on all the current cultural humor. Sorry about that. But, I hear things. Some years ago, someone told me a story from an episode in the TV show Monk. Now, I've never seen that series. But he said that Adrian Monk, the title character, is a somewhat defective detective. He suffers from the symptoms of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and therefore how he reacts to things as he makes his way through life yields most of the comedy in the series. And he suffered from these eccentricities at least ever since the death of his beloved wife, Trudy. In one episode, Monk travels to New York to search for his wife Trudy's killer. At the end of the episode, he meets the man who, for several $1,000s, had placed a bomb under Trudy's car. The man is near death, lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to a morphine drip. And as Monk finishes his questioning, the man says, "Forgive me." With a solemn expression on his face, Monk walks over to the morphine drip, turns it off, and says, "This is me turning off your morphine," which would, of course, cause unbearable pain for this man who murdered his wife. Then a few seconds later, he turns around and says, "And this is Trudy turning it back on," which he does. Mr. Monk couldn't forgive this man in his own strength. Only drawing on the memory of Trudy's love could he do the right thing. Sometimes we all face choppy waters. At other times we face huge storms. And it feels that the sea is so wide and our boat is so small. But please, whether or not you've ever heard this before, hear it now. You have it in you. You have what it takes to do the right and loving thing. There is more in you to draw on than you might think.